Hello everyone, my name is Jyoti and I am creating this video for a benefit of all the Indian students who are planning to come to Denmark for their either master's studies or their PhD studies. And this in this video I have my colleague Antariksh, and we both are a PhD students, and today we are going to have a small conversation where we are sharing our experience both as a master student at DTU, Technical University of Denmark, as well as a how does it feel to be a PhD student at DTU. So hi Antriksh,
Hi Jyoti.
hi. Thank you for accepting my invitation, and I look forward to talk to you. So for our viewers, can you just introduce yourself? For example, where are you from India, and why did you come to Denmark? When did you come to Denmark?
My name is Antariksh Dijolkar and I'm from Goa in India. And I came to Denmark in 2015. Uh, it was mainly to study wind energy. I was in my bachelor's, I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I was interested in like aerospace, aerodynamics essentially,
Mhm.
after doing some internships, research internships. But then I also wanted to do something for the environment. So I thought uh, the best path ahead would be for me to go for wind energy. And then after some doing some research, I found out that the Netherlands and Denmark are some of the best places to do this. And I had applied for a master's actually in TU Delft, but it's a double degree program with Denmark. So it's half of my time was in TU Delft, half of my time was at DTU, and I got a degree in aerospace engineering from TU Delft, and then wind energy from DTU. So it was quite an intense program, but it was very good. And yeah,
Antrish, can you voice is again going down? Can you speak loud?
okay, yeah,
Yeah, I think maybe you can increase your volume. Is that okay?
yeah, I can do that. Yeah, is
Yeah,
that good?
thank you. So, you said you are from mechanical engineering background. So, when you were applying for Erasmus, this master program, was it easy for you to do it alone, and you had to take some expert advice?
No, I did everything alone. I would say, right from uh, like finding out uh, which programs are where, and but it was mainly personal research. So there was this website called edulix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's still active, but it was
Mm-hmm.
a very nice resource because there were so many students from
Okay.
all over, like from different parts of India, who have gone to different parts in the world, like who were there on that forum. And like that's how I came to know that like U Delft has a strong also a wind energy track, and that's from there I came to know about DTU. So yeah.
Okay. So this Erasmus course is fully funded by government. Like, you have to pay a
So
tuition fees.
yes, I had to pay. So it was a few students. I think it was 10 in my year would get the fully funded scholarship by Erasmus Mundus, and this was uh, yeah. So that would fund your, but fully funding I meant it meant that it would fund your total fees, like your whatever you pay your tuition fees, and also it would give you €1,000 stipend per month.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, like I wasn't able to get it. Uh, they have some criteria and it's very strict. Yeah, so I actually uh, opted for an education loan instead.
Okay. And when did you start thinking about applying during your bachelor studies? Was it after bachelor only you applied, or during it bachelor itself you were preparing to apply?
I started thinking about it in my final year of my bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
So I had done an internship at IIT Gandhinagar,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was on application of computational fluid dynamics to like airfoils, and I really got interested in aerodynamics there, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was just thinking how I can best, collaborate this interest in aerodynamics with my, uh, you can say like, an inclination towards going to like was doing something for, the environment. And so that's when I started thinking in my fourth year. But then I applied after I graduated
Okay. So there was a like you had enough time to prepare for IELTS and
for
uh,
TOEFL. Yeah, I gave TOEFL, and
okay.
I gave it in the fourth year itself, but it
Hmm.
wasn't too bad. Uh,
Okay.
I don't think it's that, of like it's that tough of an exam.
Okay.
I would say I prepared for a week maybe for TOEFL,
Okay.
and
So
the
what is a typical score required? Do you think is a safe side for a TOEFL to
I
get
think
through this
to
course?
get like 100 plus,
100 plus.
but different universities have different requirements. So
For this course, the course you have got through, what is a cutoff TOEFL score?
uh, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 100, around
Okay.
90 plus or 100, somewhere there. I'm sorry, yeah.
And when you said mechanical engineering background, so how did you connect wind energy, aerodynamics, and all? So what kind of courses you have included in your, which you think is good, make your application stronger in
Okay,
for wind energy?
yeah. So like wind energy is like a very multidisciplinary field.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be from, electrical, you can be from, uh, yeah, different, backgrounds like electrical, from, mechanical. In mechanical you can focus on aerodynamics, you can focus on, structures. So I basically focused on structures and fluid dynamics, which the courses I had taken in my
Mm-hmm.
bachelor's and my internship in aerodynamics, because I particularly wanted to, do my, master's, focus it on such that I learn about designing wind turbine blades, so which is,
Okay.
like an aerodynamic problem and a structural problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there were many people who joined the masters who also had electrical background, because, as I said, it's very interdisciplinary.
Okay. And you have spent half of your time in TU Delft and uh, half of your time in DTU.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between these university? How did you end up choosing DTU to do your PhD? What is the basic difference between these two universities? If somebody wants to, why somebody should choose a DU Delft and why should somebody go to DTU?
Okay. So that in some sense there are big differences. In some sense, it's the same. I would say in terms of quality of education, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same. But in TU Delft, I would say it's way more competitive, and it's more stressful as well, because you do, many courses in shorter time. So they have something like they have a quarter system.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of semesters they have quarters, and that means you end up doing many courses at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. Because some courses even they are given over 2 quarters. So some courses end in 1 quarter, some courses stretch for the whole semester. And on top of that, uh, they are very strict in their grading. So they have this, rule that like you can't. So there the, grading starts from, like 6 is a pass, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a rule in the Dutch education system, or at least at TU Delft, that you can't get above 9. So if
Okay.
you're the best, you get 9. If you have got above 9 somehow, then you have to go and defend your grade in front of the professor. So he'll give you an
Oh,
oral exam on top of all the other exams you have passed.
okay.
So it's very, it's yeah, it's so in that sense, it's, highly competitive, very stressful, but I would say it was worth it, because I was able to take different courses in even in aerospace, like in helicopters and stuff like that, and it was very interesting. Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, TU Delft also has a aerospace engineering. They're pretty good at in aerospace
Yeah,
engineering.
so they are one of the best in the world, I would say. Like in aerospace, their aerospace department is the best, and that's where I was as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing the aerodynamics, part and the
And
aerospace.
DTU doesn't have aerospace; they have a wind.
They have, oh yeah, their focus is on wind, but they of course they also have courses in aerodynamics,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't have courses. focusing on aircraft design, for example, or helicopters.
Okay. So for those students who don't want to do PhD, they just want to finish master, which country offer better future in terms of the job opportunity as well as visa for so whether person should stay in Netherlands because there is a better job market and there is a longer visa, or should stay in Denmark?
Uh, I think in Denmark you actually get a longer visa.
2 years
So
established visa.
yes, exactly. So in both countries you get your your visa that you get for your masters plus 6 months to find a job.
Okay.
And but in Denmark you get something called establishment
So it
card.
is your master plus 2 years.
Yes, exactly. So if you can show that you have, I think at my point it was around 10 lakhs of fund in the,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to show I had it here, but just in India, and then I could get this 2 year additional visa.
Mm-hmm.
I could find a job. In terms of like how hard
Finding
it
it.
is to
Yeah.
find a job, it's so it all depends on what kind of job you're looking for. I mean,
Okay.
it's been my experience that because so the field I'm in, like, and what I was aiming for was like this design oriented jobs when I could get to do like actually do wind turbine design and stuff. So and those jobs, it's like it's very highly specific. It's very
Mm-hmm.
it's a subfield of a subfield, right? Like wind energy is a subfield of mechanical engineering, and I'm trying to so the jobs are few and far apart. But then in wind energy, the opportunities are more in Denmark, much more than in the
Okay.
Netherlands, because all the major companies have their manufacturing bases here, and they have consultings and they have research and development offices here. So I would definitely say, at least for wind energy, you come here. If it's for aerospace, you
Mm-hmm.
go to Germany or the Netherlands.
Okay. I think even Sweden, close to Denmark, also offer a lot of wind energy job opportunity, like Siemens and their companies.
But they are all here in Denmark, like
Okay.
Siemens, Vestas, like these are the big ones, right? But even other companies, like even Suzlon, the Indian company, it has its R&D and main offices here, even though the manufacturing is in the Netherlands. But the kind of jobs I was looking for would be here. And then all the major companies in the world, even the Chinese companies, GE as well, and
Even Chinese companies are here.
yeah, like Goldwind, Senvion,
Okay.
they have their R&D, and some of the main development works happens in Denmark because it's like there's a how do you say, like DTU wind energy is like a
Mm-hmm.
feeder. All the talent is generated there, and then they go to the industry, and then you have other companies like Dong Energy,
Mm-hmm.
Vattenfall, so which are more like the wind farm developers. And
So, which university you did your bachelor in India?
in Birla Institute of Technology,
Okay. So
Mathura.
how do you find Indian education system different than Europeans? I mean, have
Uh,
you enjoyed more? You said that TU Delphi is much more competitive and DTU is kind of laid back, which I also agree because DTU there's a much more work-life balance and they also try to promote that you also pursue other activities,
yeah.
socialization and all. So you have, but how about bachelor and master? So what is a major difference you have noticed, which
Okay.
I mean?
So when I came from my bachelor's, I would say like in India, the focus is a lot on theory, right?
Mm-hmm,
And the first thing I noticed here was that like you had to know a scripting language like MATLAB or Python
mm-hmm,
properly,
yeah,
because you'd get so many assignments, and the focus here was on writing reports
mm-hmm,
and making your own codes and actually implementing what you're learning in practice.
mm,
That's the major difference. And the second difference was working in groups. Like in India, we never worked in groups.
yeah.
We are always doing individualistic study, just focusing on ourselves. And um, so that was a major change as well, because here then you learn how to deal with other people and the whole group dynamic situation, and how to manage, how to divide work. I think that was one of the major changes. There's like emphasis on practical, yeah, emphasis on practical application, and also working in groups.
Okay. And So it was kind of like your development in a change in perspective how the education is being delivered in different across the different countries. So DTU has a much more practical approach where they teach on application based, and India is much more theoretical where they actually talk about fundamentals much more. And
Yeah. Like like I would say, coming from India, my uh,
fundamentals are much more strong.
yeah, exactly. But I didn't know how to apply, right? And
Yes.
engineering in the end is about application. Like if you
Hmm.
don't know how to apply, then I, I would say, like now looking back, I wouldn't have called myself a real engineer when I came back from India because I just didn't know how to apply. I didn't have the practical experience.
I mean, I can totally understand because everybody here use LaTeX for writing documents, and MATLAB for coding, even for graph making. They don't use Excel; they use graphs using MATLAB code.
Yeah,
So that's something. It's a very fast upgrade doing masters at in European universities such as DTU and. Okay. So now, in my second part of this discussion, you finish your masters and you came back to Denmark because maybe you had better connections with the department and much
yeah.
more contacts. Then